ladies and gentlemen, and it is time for Late Night Sentai, where I talk about everything Sentai, like news and episodes and other stuff. We would normally be talking about Avatar Sentai Dawn Brothers, except it decided to not work today. I don't know why. Everything else on the site was working fine, but for some reason the links to Dawn Brothers was not working. So instead, we're going to skip ahead, and we are going to start Boonboomger, the new one, basically. And the premise of this show is that Taya, I think it's Taya, is a courier, and he is tasked to retrieve items and to deliver them to the people that are requesting them. And it doesn't matter what it is, because in the first episode, the item he is tasked to deliver is a person. And that person is a young woman named Mira who is getting married. But he has been asked by her boyfriend to deliver her to him. So he goes and retrieves her from the wedding, and on the way there, they have to stop because these two alien creatures are unleashing a monster on the town, and they basically stop at a shop, because she is in her grandmother's wedding dress, and they turn the wedding dress into a sentinel monster, basically. And the gimmick with these aliens, which I think is really cool, is they can use a physical key to turn objects into their monsters, and I like that. Instead of being a person that turns into the monsters, they are physically transforming I think that's really cool. And it might be a trend from now on, because if you remember in Precure, after a while, they stopped using people to do it, able to make the monsters, and they started using just random inanimate objects. I don't particularly like that. I prefer people, but in this case, I think it kind of works. I don't know the name of the aliens, though. I think Ishara is the girl from Wikipedia, because her voice actress, I think, is Nana Mizuki. And I know Junichi Suabe is the boy, but I don't know his name. But he works for an alien called Medrex, and I know that alien is Hiroshi Kamiya from looking it up and from listening to their voice. Also, I swear that Taya's car is voiced by Hikari Murarikawa, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just the person on the other end talking to him through the car speaker. Maybe I'm just nuts. I don't know. Anyway, they turn the wedding dress into a monster, and Mira insists that they have to get it because it was her grandmother's wedding dress, and they put her in the car to take her to the airport, but she comes back and she's like, no, I want to help. And I like this concept. I like that the girl isn't just lost and confused and isn't just thrust into a situation she doesn't understand. She chooses to do this. She chooses to come back and say, no, I want to kick their asses. I want to help you get my wedding dress back. And of course, she's still confused and has absolutely no idea what's going on. And to tell you the truth, neither do I to a degree, because the show doesn't really start to explain things until episode 2. So basically, we get the basic setup, which is cars. They turn into car-themed rangers. We get the monster, we get the aliens. But episode 2, the item they need to retrieve in episode 2 is a briefcase with something in it, and the other guy, whose name I'm not sure of, that Taya is working with, doesn't really want Mira on the team because he thinks she's too flippant, and frankly, I like flippant. I like the fact that she's, very in your face, like, what is going on? Why is this? I want to get this done. I like it. I like her personality. And of course she's asking a lot of questions because she's very confused. And Taya's like, why don't you take her with you to figure out how things work and what to do. Also, one thing to note is when he gives her badge, basically, he just has a bunch of them lying in the car, and I found that very weird. Did you just expect another person to become a Boonboomger? Did you actually expect another person to walk up and say, hey, I want to help you? So you're like, okay, I'm just going to keep a bunch of these buttons in the car just in case someone decides to help you. I found that very strange, but I guess it's like preemptive thinking. Also, we see in episode 2 that the guy who he is working with, the one who doesn't think Mira should be on the team, he rescued him, and I assume that it's because he was with the aliens, because he was about to kill him in the flashback. So we don't really know anything about that, but I would presume it's because he was probably working for the aliens. But he was about to kill him, but instead he's like, no, come work with me, So I guess that's why he just keeps them lying around. I still find it strange, though. And episode 2's monster is a vacuum monster, which basically sucks everything up. It's not that interesting. But we do meet Medrox in episode 2, and he's basically just a floating face. And he's actually kind of creepy looking. So, I like it so far. I think it's fun. It's nothing to write home about. It's not, out of your way interesting. But after Oger, which in my opinion bit off more than it can chew, and basically spent too much time on the political drama about, who's going to rule who, and who's related to who, and this person has a brother, and then, we don't trust this person, and I dropped it halfway through because I got bored, and I'm like, we're not even halfway through. I dropped it, what episode did I drop it? 10 or 12, because we'd gotten, or maybe more like 20, I don't know. But I got to a point and I was like, we haven't even introduced any monsters yet. We haven't, and we've introduced foot soldiers, but we haven't introduced any actual monsters yet. So that was a bad sign when I got to a point and I'm like, we haven't even introduced any actual villains yet. This is just getting boring, so I dropped it. And, this series just introduces the monsters immediately from episode 1, and I like that, and I think it's very fun. It's a little silly and gimmicky sometimes, but that's okay. It's a Sentai series. I expect that. We will get back to Avatar Sentai Dawn Brothers, but I think since I started the show, I'm at least going to play catch-up with the show for the next week. And then once I'm done playing catch-up with this show, I will go back to Dawn Brothers, and then we'll go back to Russia. And by that point, Kamen Rider Gav should have started, so I'm going to jump into that show too. And this show and Gav actually air on the same day, so I'll probably be able to put out, make this into 2 different episodes. So there's that. And if nothing else, I will see y'all tomorrow. Or no, because it's almost 1 o'clock a.m. I will see you all tomorrow night.